Heyo and welcome to Build&Battle Season 2, our Manor Lords Let's Play, where we will build a beautiful medieval city while battling off bandits, brigands, and no-good doers. Last week we situated our starting cellars, and just in time as winter is, as you can see, now setting in. So in today's episode, I want to get us growing and finalizing our last crucial production chains and get our church, manor house, and trade set up. So without further delay, let's jump right on into it. Alright, so I am going to start today with the game paused so that we can come into the marketplace area and scope out a location for our church. And I think I want to build it right here, either facing the market or facing this main road here. I was thinking about adding the corpse pit around here too, but then I figured this for, sanitation reasons, it'd be best that we place that away from the main city center, and we can probably put a shrine or something to act as a memorial stone, for those who will inevitably die in our upcoming battles. Anyway, I also wanted to get the church started for two reasons. First, I need to increase our approval ratings right here, so that we can start drawing in a population to draft into our army, and second, this building takes forever to construct. So let's come on in, let's grab the church, and let's find a good way to get this guy in here. Alright, I think I'll like how that is oriented there. Alright, now let's get some important industries set up. First, I want to start with clay, and I want to give a huge shout out to this comment here, because this is just such great advice, and I didn't know it before. Now I'm not worried about timing my clay deposits in fear of depleting them, especially where I want to use the deep mining node in the development tree. So now, without worry, let's place a clay pit, and I want to get it shuffled right up along the sides, because we may even be able to put two over this spot at some point. So let's come on into industry, mining, there we go, mining pit. And I think we'll go just like so. Perfect. All right, now that we have that situated, let's come on in and let's get our clay furnace. And I want to get this right in this little section right here. Probably right up in the corner, because I just think it'll fit very, very nicely here. There we go. Alright, perfect. Let's move on to our next industry. And next, let's get the iron ore started so we can offset some of the cost of weapons with our own natural resources. Now, for this pit, because it's not a rich deposit, I am going to just place it right over the entire resource as it is. So let's come on in, let's get our mining once again. And let's just plop that bad boy in there. Okay, perfect. And finally, let's get a place for the bloomery situated as well. Also, let me know down in the comments, do you guys place storage near your production chains? I've seen a lot of creators who place their industries right in the center of town, and I haven't yet because eventually I am sure that this overlay right here, smell in progress and fire hazard in progress, are going to eventually become important. So let me know in the comments how you guys disperse your storage buildings. I was kind of thinking it might be worth putting a storage down here, just to kind of help, especially with this good old mining clay pit right there. But anywho, I digress. Let's come on in here, get this all situated up to the lines. Lines, I meant roads. Alright, and let's come in and let's do a bloomery for now, so we can get some iron slabs. Perfect. So as you heard earlier, I want to also get our trading post up and running so we can actually start importing our weapons. So I actually want to position that right here near the marketplace, And I'm thinking actually perhaps this would be a good spot here. I still continue to have a little bit of a glitchy road issue here post episode 0. But I'll just kind of come in and keep deleting that each time. Anyway, let's come on in. Let's get the trading post. And let's snuggle this bad boy on in here. Okay, we'll see how this little road works out for us here. Alright, and let's also plop in the livestock trading post somewhere nearby, I suppose, as I do want to eventually be able to trade in, like, sheepies. Have an entire industry on sheepies. And no, this wasn't big enough. Oh, I was hoping we might be able to sneak this right in here, but it looks like we'll have to set it off a little bit. So let's kind of come on in here with the livestock trading post. Let's see if I can snuggle it in here somehow. I think that's going to be the best we're going to be able to get. That is fine. Leaves a nice amount of decorating opportunities, and who knows, maybe a hitching post. Where is that darn thing? Hitching post, where are you? In logistics, where you belong. Yeah, I mean, we maybe could. Nah, won't fit. But that would have been nice if that had fit in there. That's fine. We'll put the trading posts right here for now. And yeah, we'll let those kind of grow in. So for anyone keeping up with the community in the comments, I have been asking about development points and gathering some information on them. I have changed my mind on which ones to prioritize a lot. Like a very lot. So hear me out on how I think I'm going to do this. First, I am going to get the trade logistics node because it can solve all of our shortcomings and help us grow at a much more confident pace that is not at the mercy of only our production lines. With this node, we will not be paying a lot of money to start trade lines for weapons, which I also think was part of our downfall in Season 1 since I did not start producing weapons in our upgraded burgage plots until it was way too late. Next, and please disclaimer, be aware, this could still change. I think I want to get the charcoal burning and the deep mines after that. We have firewood for now, which will get us through the first winter, if honestly we haven't already leveled the settlement up again before then. So the charcoal burning is a priority, but not one that I think has to wait, or could wait one more winter. We don't need it. We have firewood for now. Deep mines was a huge concern of mine, but now that I know that the mine itself could get depleted and we can still use this development node to extract more out of the rich deposits, I'm a lot less stressed about waiting for a level 3 settlement to get to this point. Even if it takes like another episode or so, we could still work with it. So I do want to get the orchardry and explore this development tree a little, but it was pointed out to me that we don't have great fertility, and honestly this development tree would be better in a territory with good fertility. So I do want to play around with this development line, but that was a good point and I can't dispute that logic. It's sound. So with all that exposition vomit, let's actually just come on in and let's get the trade node started. We'll then, again, subject to change, we'll then work on getting to deep mining, and we'll see where we are there, because honestly, orchardry, sheep breeding, heavy plow, irrigation, like all of this seems really fun to me, but this might have to wait for another territory. So, trade logistics. Done. Alright, enough with the talking, let's get back to building a beautiful medieval city. And I want to get that manor house up and running. We have already decided way back in episode 0 that this cliffside would just be gorgeous. It would be so good. So, yes, I am going to place the manor house up here. So let's come on into construction. Let's get the manor house. And I kind of want to see where our water veins are. Just to know. Okay, so there's one right there. Alright, so let's pull this road right here up a little bit. Probably to about right there. Put the manor house right there. And we'll come back in to get the garrison tower momentarily. Okay, let's get the manor house in, and we will come back in when we have more resources to get the garrison tower. I miscalculated a little bit. We'll get it because I want that retinue size, but we can add this in for a time lapse later on. Alrighty, now I want to try my best to time the construction of our farms so that we may be able to sow the first fields, or sow the first fields. Not sure how to pronounce that one. I wish to plant seeds, hopefully this year, so in year 1 in fall. Anyway, we still need a lot of population for the farms as well as just our armies, but my hope is at least try and get these up and running this year. But if we don't have enough of workforce, then at least the constructions are done and we can add to it later on. So I think I want to start with a farmhouse itself. And I really want to try and prioritize as much of this as I can. But right here, I think we're going to snap this right into this corner here. Get it as close to the road as possible as well. Perfect. All right, and then let's also get a sheep house in here. So we'll come right over to the sheep farm. I think honestly I might want to just tuck it right up here, right next to the farmhouse itself. Okay, next up, the communal oven is also going to be placed in this area because I don't really want the families working the farms to have to travel far with the grains, and we're going to need bread to help support the increasing population we will have because I need people to draft into an army. So I think what we're going to do is come right on in here, and we're going to plop this right off of this main road, I think. I want it kind of facing this way. There we go. And before we start mapping in where our fields will be, let's get the windmill in here. And I actually want to place it right here because it has 99% efficiency. I don't really know what determines efficiency in the game. So if you happen to know, ooh, we got it that 100. Sorry, squirrel brain. If you happen to know what creates efficiency, please definitely let me know down in the comments because that is so interesting to me. So I want to keep it to this as close to this corner as possible. Let's just wiggle this on out until we hit 100. There we go. Wonderful. Okay, so now with the buildings in, let's get 4 fields in here, and I think I want to keep them at 1 Morgan in size. Honestly, I still really don't know much about the Morgan measurement, but I've been reading up on that measurement on Reddit, and it seems to be a consensus that 1 family can plow 1 Morgan. So we will start with 4, potentially add more if needed, and kind of experiment with that a little bit. So let's grab the fields, and I want to keep it in the green. Our supplies is in the way. That's okay. So let's get maybe 1 field here. It's gonna end up being a really long field, guys. Okay, so we got 1 Morgan there. All right, so we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then before we start up on the sheep pasture that I want to build, let's just come on in here. Let's get crop rotation on, and let's get a nice little rotation happening here. Okay, now let's go in and get that sheep farm up and running. So we will come in, just grab a good old pasture. And Slavic Magic honestly did a phenomenal job of just this tool in general, this flexible tool. So what I kind of actually want to do is get something that kind of wraps up into the King's Road right here. Just like that. Because that just works so easily. And I want to keep this tree here, but I want to try and get as close to this tree as possible. Beautiful. This way, you'll be able to see the sheepies right up along the King's Road. And we can keep 34 sheepies. That's a lot of sheep. All right, now I figured we might as well come on in and get a malt house and a weaver's house up and running, since we're kind of already here, and I am going to want this eventually. So let's start with the weaver station, because this thing has a very, very gorgeous fence that I just really want to run right up along this main road here. So let's get this right there. We'll set this one, I think, to low because it's not a huge priority. And let's actually snuggle that malt house right up next to it, because I just think, again, it will just fit really, really darn nicely. There we go. There's the sweet spot. Okay, so we will put that right there then. Alrighty, so this episode may be seeing our biggest construction projects yet, but we aren't done. I also want to add just a little neighborhood of burgage plots right here, because I want to try and make sure that we can actually get some nice, what's the word I'm looking for? Artisans. I want to get some artisans in here, guys. So we're going to come in, we're going to get it with the double house, because I want these to be a little bit thicker, but I also want them to be a little bit denser. Choo choo choo. We'll go with this for now. And we'll get those built in as well. We can't currently upgrade any plots, but that will be getting done as we can. Hopefully soon. All right. The Baron has begun claiming his first territory. We're going to have to let it happen. We don't have an army yet. We're not even close to having a decent enough army yet. So that's a bummer. I was hoping we might be able to lay claim to something before him, but we are not going to be able to. So let's drown our sorrows in alcohol. Let's get the brewery right on in here and get that up and running as well. Alright, so I did try a little something different with this time lapse, and I would love to hear your opinions down in the comments below. Usually I plop the asset and then time lapse the building, but to work with the multitasking nature of Manor Lords game mechanics, I compiled them all at the end. You may even notice in episode 3 some of the buildings are just, they're time lapsed here in episode 2, but they're not actually constructed in completion yet for episode 3 due to editing magic. I'm doing this so that we can continue the progression of the game at the same time enjoying how gorgeous it is to watch these buildings grow. If you liked it, please let me know in the comments. If you didn't like it, also let me know in the comments. If you really don't care about watching the time-lapsed buildings, let me know that as well. I know I enjoy watching the buildings grow, but that doesn't mean everybody does, and I want these videos to bring you, the viewers, some entertainment and relaxing TV. Now, with that said, I think that will wrap up today's episode. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and let me know your thoughts, opinions, and favorite parts of the episode in the comments below. I love seeing everyone's comments, and I try really hard to acknowledge each one as you post them. Please also consider hitting the like button. This lets me know whether you enjoyed the episode or not. Next week, we will be coming up on our last year before raiders and bandits, I believe, begin attacking us, and as you can see, the Baron wasted no time in gobbling up a territory. The real question is, will we be ready for the raiders and the Baron by the end of next year? So stay tuned to find out.